Hello people of the interwebs and all that, this is Matthead and you're watching Matthead Plus, and today I'm going to be showing you how to cut down render times in Cinema 4D and keep virtually the exact same quality. And I'll show you what I got worked on here. I got this red brick that falls and smashes a glass sphere. And now I'm using Throwsy to break up the sphere. I'm using a Voronoi pattern, which if those of you who use Throwsy knows, it takes longer to break apart and it takes longer to render. Now, I want to have a very high quality image and keep as many things as I can and still cut down on the render times. So I'm not going to render out this whole image, but I'm going to give you an example by going to a frame, and I'm going to render this frame out how it is. I'll show you my settings. So I've got my depth of field here. I'm going to turn off radial blur. With nothing's changed. I've turned on distance and background blur and changed the blur strength to 15%. Global illumination, complete default settings. Ambient occlusion, complete default settings. I've got a physical sky that's completely unchanged. I've got a floor that's got a reflection on it. This brick right here has a reflection on it, and then these glass pieces have refraction and reflection on it. Also, the brick has some luminance, so it gives off light. So with all those settings, I'm going to render this out, get back to you, show you the render time, and then show you what you can do to make it up to 3 times faster, rendering the exact same thing and keeping quality. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back, and as you can see here, the render time on this frame right here is 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Now, say I rendered my entire workflow, which was 90 seconds of this animation, that would take about 3 hours and 20 minutes to render all that. So that's ridiculous. I don't have to deal with that for a 1.5 second video. You guys wouldn't have to deal with that. So I'm going to show you how to cut down render times immensely so you can, motivate people to make longer animations and still keep the quality. So I'll jump right into that. I'm going to exit out of my picture viewer, and I'm going to start with a simple thing like the shadows. If you're using any shadows, make sure you're not using area shadows. Use ray trace shadows. 100% of the time, ray trace shadows will render faster. Now, I would maybe, if you want to cut down render times a lot, tweak with the reflection settings and stuff. I want to keep this as close to the original render as I could. So I'm going to skip deleting reflections or anything like that and go straight into render settings. Start with the ambient occlusion. Take the max samples from 64, change that to 48. Less samples, faster render. Global illumination. Now, the first thing you could do is change the irradiance cache record density from medium to low, but I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to go to preset and change it to object visualization -preview. This is an insanely faster way of rendering, and you will notice nearly no difference at all in the quality. The depth of field settings are fine. So with those settings we just changed, the render time will be cut down immensely. And the last thing we can do is change the resolution. Now, if you're like me, you're going to want to put cinematic widescreen bars on the bottom and top of your video. Now, I usually make it so 18% of the video is widescreen bars, so equal on the top and the bottom, obviously. So 9% of the bottom and 9% of the top is going to be widescreen. So I did some math and I took away 18% of 720 and was left with 600 about, because if you're having pixels covered by black bars, then they're not even going to be seen anyway. What's the point in rendering them? So I'm just not going to render them. I'm going to render less pixels. If you're doing 1920, then render it 1920 by 900. So I'm going to render this out real quick, show you the immense difference between the render times and show you the tiny difference between the quality. So I'm going to change the name of this to after, and I'm going to save it, and I'm going to render it, and I'm going to get back to you in just a second. Alright, I'm back, and this frame took 43 seconds to render. That if I rendered the entire 90-second animation like I said before, that would have cut off 2 hours and 15 minutes from this original one. And just, you can look at the difference here, and there virtually is no difference at all. I mean, like, you can see very, very minor things like with the shadows. And right here, I'm going to go into After Effects. I'm going to apply the normal color corrections and things that I normally would. I'm going to show that to you, show the before and after, and you'll just be amazed by how you can cut, you can make your render 3 times faster. That this render would take just over an hour, when normally it would take like 3 hours and 20 minutes. So I'm going to go into After Effects and I'll show you how amazing these little techniques are. So I'll be right back again, so just bear with me a second. Alright, I'm back. I've added some color correction, I put the widescreen bars, and this is the image. This is the before image of without all the settings. This is the render that would have taken over 3 hours. This is the one, yes, I'm showing you right now, that would have taken just about an hour. And you can see as I'm clicking on this, I'm switching in between them. This is before, after, before, after. You can see that difference right there made your render 3 times faster. It is virtually nothing at all. So I hope by this mind-blowing comparison I've helped some of you to be able to render faster, produce better content because of that, and that's pretty much what I'm here for. So thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.